Hi. Okay, so this morning I want to talk about fear and doubling down on your fear and doubling down on your efforts when things are going bad. So this is something that happens to me quite often, right? And I just want to put it out there to avoid this trap. It's a hard trap, and it gets me every time. And it's important to become aware of it, but it's important to change these patterns. So one thing that I notice about myself, and that I've especially done in the past, and I'm really working hard to change this every time this pattern arises, is fear. So when you're having good times, or when you feel like you're improving, when you're having a good day, you live better. You feel happier. You're less fearful. You're more willing to try, something off your diet, or to push yourself socially, or to go out, or to do something. And that feels good, right? All those things feel good. And then when you have a bad day, you beat yourself up. You say, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have stayed up that extra 15 minutes, watching that show. I shouldn't have, eaten those nuts, or I shouldn't have, even if it's really healthy, right? I shouldn't have had that little square of dark chocolate. I shouldn't have, whatever it is, been stressed, done this, done that. You beat yourself up. I wonder if it was this, I wonder if it was that, right? But in wondering if it was this or that, you're actually beating yourself up, and you're creating fear. You're creating fear around food. You're creating fear around your environment. You're creating fear around everything you do. It's almost like you're walking on eggshells. You're walking on a landmine, and that anything that you do could possibly trigger a setback, and that you're to blame for this somehow. You're somehow a bad person, or you're to blame, or you've done it wrong. If only I didn't do this or that or the other. Because when we say maybe it was this, maybe it was that, maybe it was the other, we're also saying if I only avoided this, if I avoided that, if I avoided the other, then I wouldn't be in this situation. So we really give ourselves a hard time when we're asking the questions without realizing it. We're trying to figure out what it was that we did, what it was that happened to us, what it was, how did we let this happen, right? What was it that I did, ate, thought, said, what position did I put myself in to create this thing? And although that's true, it probably is something environmental or physical or emotional that triggered this. What we don't want to do is beat ourselves up and live in fear. We don't want to say, now I'm afraid of everything again. Now I'm afraid of all foods. Now I'm afraid of, everything. And again, when we live in fear, often we make the worst decisions. And what we do is sorry, my dogs. But at the time when something bad happens, what we should really be doing is being loving to ourselves, being kind to ourselves, going inward, meditating, breathing, getting fresh air, eating nourishing, delicious foods, getting with people we love, doing things that make us feel good. These are the things that we should be doing to help our bodies. But instead what we do is our fear spikes. We start to live in fear of everything, creating more fear. And then, I do have a point here, and I want to just think about what that is. When you start to live in fear about everything that you did, you start to double down on your efforts. I need to drink more juice. I need to go for my walks better. I need to get to bed earlier. I need to do this better. I need to take my supplements better. I need to do this. We start to, what else can I do? What other things can I add to my regimen? What more can I do? How can I push myself harder, right? It's crazy, but it sounds crazy, but this is what we do. We push ourselves harder when we're having a hard time. We push ourselves to do more, to be better, to think better, to eat better, to live better, to have less environmental exposures, everything. We go through the list. We beat ourselves up over every single list, and then we push ourselves in every single area. It's like we double down. It's like a child who gets, an A on their math homework and then they bring home a C, and we're like, that, double down. Now you're doing homework. Now you're doing this. Now you're doing that. Now, so that doesn't happen again. So when we go from a good day to a bad day, we double down, because in life, that's what we're taught to do, right? If something goes wrong, then we double down on it and we fix it. But when you're sick, doubling down on things is actually the wrong thing to do. Making changes, adding things to your protocol, wrong. Being in like that warrior mindset, although necessary, can also keep you in fight or flight, which is wrong. You need to lower your stress, lower your nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system. You need to get into parasympathetic. You need to breathe. You need to be calm. You need to feel loving and feel love and feel light and feel happy and feel all the things that we want to feel first before we feel them. But if we're feeling angry at ourselves, mad at ourselves, like failures, hopeless, disappointed, putting pressure on ourselves to be better, to do more, to be right, we're actually creating all the feelings that we don't want. We don't want fear. We don't want pressure. We don't want to be in fight or flight. We don't want, to have these problems. What we do want is to feel light, to feel loved, to feel accepted, to feel good, to feel peaceful, to feel like we're in parasympathetic, to feel happy, to feel, right? These are all things that we want. But by doubling down on it, we're actually creating the very bad feelings and emotions and things that aren't healing feelings. So I don't know if this is resonating with you. I don't know if I'm saying this clearly enough. Sometimes it's hard to get my point, what I'm actually feeling across. But when we double down on our efforts out of fear and anger towards ourselves for letting something happen, and that we need to make this right and we need to correct it and we need to be better, that's good. It's the only way we can have change. But part of it is so wrong, and part of it is what I have to remind myself every time. You don't want to create these emotions of fighting with yourself or stress or anger at yourself or disappointment in yourself, right? These are all the feelings that create illness. So it's ironic, that the very feelings that we put on ourselves and the very pressure that we put on ourselves and the action that we need to take and everything, we feel this sense of urgency and stress and just, and usually it's got a negative edge to it, right? It's not positive, like, I feel so excited now, I know what not to do, and I'm going to take action, and it's going to be great. And if it was like that, then that would be good. But usually it's out of, anger or fear. It's like, fuck, I'm not going to let this happen again. I won't let this happen. I'm going to double down on this and this and this. We're sort of like, we're in this war with ourselves. And that is not good for healing. So when you're at your worst and you're feeling all these feelings, we actually need to turn the feelings around before our bodies will realize that it's safe to heal, right? We get it in a mode that actually it feels like it's got to be ready, on guard, be prepared, do something, take action. That's the feeling we give it when we're in the bad. And what we really want to do is, you can relax. You're okay. You're going to be okay. Breathe. I love you. Things are going to work out. It wasn't your fault. Enjoy what you eat. Nourish your body, right? Invite good, healthy foods in. Instead of pushing and being fearful of everything, it's like, no, invite the good in. Don't stress about all the bad. Invite the good in your environment in. Look around and don't worry if the air's bad and this is bad. Invite the good in. Invite the love in, with your family. And anyways, I hope this helps. I think it's really important, and I don't think when we're feeling like this, I feel like it's natural to feel that way, but I don't think it's helpful. I think parts of it can be helpful to take action, and parts of it, to assess the situation and to be ready. But we definitely don't want to keep our minds and our bodies in the ready, alert, fight or fight state. And subconsciously, that's what we can be doing. So I think we have to become aware of this pattern. If this is your pattern, it's definitely my pattern. And try to change it and try to get the good feelings to come so our body feels safe, so it can get out of this, the bad days, the setbacks, the struggles faster, and we can get to where we want to be, which is those wonderful feelings that we have to put them forth first. And so while it is good that we do need to take action, we do need to do things, we need to do it out of love, out of excitement, out of gratitude, out of awareness, out of a place of peace and comfort and love and all the good feelings. So we need to take action in a different way, in a positive way, in a way that makes us feel comforted and loved and soothed. Okay? So I hope this helps, and I hope you give it a try and really think about it.